Good morning. It's time for chapter 23 in Among the Hidden by Margaret Peterson Haddix. We're going to find out a little more about what Luke and Jen are up to in regards to the rally. Luke let the kitchen door slam behind him and didn't care. He was so mad his eyes blurred. The nerve of her saying, "I don't have time for you." Who did she think she was? He tramped up the stairs. She'd always thought she was better than him just because she was a baron, showing off with her soda and her potato chips and her fancy computer. So what? It didn't mean she was special just because her parents had lots of money. It wasn't like she'd earned it or anything. Who was she anyway? Just some dumb old girl. He wished he'd never gone over there. All she did was brag, 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 and show off. That's all the rally was, anyhow, showing off. "Hey, look, I'm a third child and I can go to the president's house and nobody will hurt me." He hoped someone shot her. That would show her. Luke stopped in the middle of pulling the attic door shut behind him. No, he took it back. He didn't want anyone to shoot her. His knees went weak and he had to sit down on the stairs. All his anger suddenly turned to fear. What if someone did shoot her? He remembered the sign she'd asked if he wanted to carry. "Give me liberty or give me death." Was she serious? Did she expect to? He stopped himself from thinking the rest. What if she never came back? He should go, if only to protect Jen. But he couldn't. Luke buried his hands in his face, trying to hide from his own thoughts. Mother found him there 3 hours later, still crouched on the stairs. "Luke, were you getting impatient waiting for me to get home? Did you have a nice day?" Luke stared at her as though she were a vision from another life. He started, ready to spill everything. He couldn't hold it in. Mother felt his forehead. "Are you sick? You look so pale. I worry about you, Luke, all day long. But then I remind myself you're safe here at home, out of harm's way." She gave him a weary smile and ruffled his hair. Luke swallowed hard and recovered himself. What was he thinking? He couldn't tell anyone about Jen. He couldn't betray her. "I'm fine," he lied. "I just haven't been out in the sun for a while, remember? Not that I'm complaining, of course," he added hastily, hiding again. Chapter 24. For 3 days, Luke agonized. Sometimes he decided he had to stop Jen, to persuade her not to go. Sometimes he decided he ought to go with her. Sometimes he was mad and thought he should just stalk over there and demand an apology. But anything he might do required seeing Jen, and that wasn't possible. It poured every day, the rain coming down in long, dreary sheets that made Luke feel worse as he watched from the attic vents. Downstairs, he could hear Dad stomping around, muttering every now and then about the time and topsoil being lost with every raindrop. Luke felt like a prisoner. Thursday night, he went to bed convinced he'd never be able to sleep for imagining Jen and the others in her car getting farther and farther from him and closer to danger. But he must have dozed off because he woke to total darkness. His heart pounded. He was sweaty. Had he dreamed something? Had he heard something? A floorboard creaked? His ears roared as he tried to listen. Was that someone else's breath or just his own? Loud and scared. A beam of light swept across his face. "Luke!" A whisper. Luke bolted up in bed. "Jen, is that you?" She switched off her flashlight. "Yes, I thought I'd kill myself coming up your stairs. Why didn't you tell me they were so narrow?" She sounded like the same old Jen, not mad, not crazy. "I didn't know you'd ever be climbing them," Luke said. It was insane to be talking about stairs now in the middle of the night in his room. Every word either of them spoke was dangerous. Mother was a light sleeper. But Luke was delighted not to be moving on, not to be talking about what Jen had really come to talk about. "Your parents didn't lock the doors," Jen said. She seemed to be stalling. "Guess I'm lucky the government outlawed pets. Didn't farmers always used to keep big guard dogs that would chomp people's heads off in one bite?" Luke shrugged, then remembered Jen couldn't see him in the dark. He wasn't sure what he was going to say until he said it. I still can't go. I'm sorry. It's something about having parents who are farmers, not lawyers, and not being a baron. It's people like you who change history. People like me, we just let things happen to us. No, you're wrong. You can make things happen. Luke sensed, rather than saw, Jen shaking her head. Even in the darkness, he could visualize each precisely cut strand of her hair bouncing and falling back into place. I'm sorry, she continued. I didn't come here to harp on you. This is dangerous, and no one should go unwillingly. I was too hard on you the other day. I just wanted to say, you've been a good friend. I'll miss you. But you'll be back tomorrow, Luke said. Tomorrow or the next day after the rally. I'll be over to visit. If your rally works, I'll be walking in the front door. We can hope, Jen said softly. Her voice faded away. Goodbye, Luke. So, what do you think is going to happen to Jen as she goes to the rally? Sounds like Luke has made his final decision not to go. We'll find out.